Damn, I did not know you could do that. This is live on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't. It was very simple. I don't even have to. I don't have to use OBS at all.
Mm-hmm.
Way easier. Okay. Do you see the fire that happened at Taylor Place?
It was a fire. I saw there were like floods.
Yeah. So
And on the 10th floor.
yeah. So on the 10th floor, there was like some person like overloaded their one of their outlets, and it had started an electrical fire, and the sprinkler started.
Bro.
It was at like 1:30 in the morning. It was.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I didn't know there was actually a fire though. Damn.
Yeah. It was annoying.
Are you on the? You had to evacuate.
Yeah.
Are you on the 11th floor? I think.
I'm on the 14th.
Oh shit! Yeah.
I walked down 14 flights, and I had to wait for whatever reason.
You couldn't even use the elevator. Damn.
No. Well, we couldn't use the elevator going down because it was the fire stuff.
Yeah, true.
But it was just, oh my god, it was really annoying.
Yeah, that sucks. All right, I guess we can just like start.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just trying to find something. Yeah, we can start. Give me like 2 seconds. God dang it, where is this? Joel Embiid at 40 and 10.
Yeah, I saw that.
Never lost to the Bulls in his career. That's cool. All right, yeah, we can start. I think we're good. So, welcome into the live stream. I don't even know if anyone's watching right now, but welcome in. The Nuggets beat the Nets. What was the score? 124-104. Good bounce back win for them. They had a little 3-game losing streak after winning five straight. But they come back. Their offense has looked great throughout all the games, except the Minnesota game. But the other two losses, like the offense wasn't a problem; it was the defense. And in the second half today, the defense came to play. Nuggets allowed 75 points in the first half, only 29 in the second. So they really turned it up.
Yeah, in that first half, like for me, like you could kind of tell. I think with the Nets, like they were getting lucky. I mean, Blake Griffin 5 threes in the first half. Like, come on. Yeah. Him and then like. They're just spraying threes. So, it would go down at some point, but it's still not like the defense was any good in the first half. No. Still allowing way too many open looks from three. And yeah, I'm glad we finally got a win. I thought this whole stream thing was a curse, like 0-3 since we started doing these. But yeah, the offense definitely came. You could definitely tell the impact of Aaron Gordon. His playmaking was phenomenal. I mean, like, he gets the pass from Jokic and then he dishes it off to someone else. So Jokic gets a lot of hockey assists. So, I mean, yeah, huge impact there. I love the offense today. I thought the offense against the Pelicans was also pretty rough. They did make 19 threes against the Pelicans, but I love this offense when it's, tons of movement, lots of buckets at the rim instead of just jacking up threes.
Yeah.
And you can tell. I mean, like
we were over 60-point paints.
Yeah.
8 points today.
So, yeah, we did. And like, the Nuggets make 19 threes against the Pelicans, but only score 105. Mm-hmm. And then today it's a lot more cutting and maybe that's the Aaron Gordon effect. But they only shot 10 for 32 from 3 today and scored 124 points.
Yeah.
And probably should have been more if, the bench, whatever. The fourth quarter was really bad.
The start of the fourth quarter was Brooklyn got it down to 10 with like 7 minutes left. I mean, this was still a game in the fourth. And they brought Jokic back in and kind of smoothed everything down. Denver, another underrated part of this game, Denver is undefeated when DeMarcus Cousins plays.
Yeah.
Every single game he's been active for games that they haven't played in the playoffs, but when he gets minutes, they win. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. He's like Aaron Gordon is good at basketball. Yes, he's very good at basketball. He is so underrated to this team. Like he's just, and they switched some of the coverages in the second half on Kyrie, and Gordon was the main guy guarding him, and Kyrie had to take way tougher shots. He missed way more. Like it was not a coincidence in the second half that because Gordon switched on to him, Kyrie struggled. But DeMarcus Cousins, like the bench, they just look so much better out there with Cousins. Like he just has such a presence out there. And they're undefeated when they play. The bench looked better today. In the second half, I thought they looked good. First half, they were good on offense, but horrible defensively. And then Rivers didn't play in the second half, and they staggered with Barton and Gordon, and it looked obviously much better because of the starter in there. But Cousins, I don't know if Cousins is the center moving forward for the bench, but you have to have a backup five. I don't think you can run small ball anymore.
Yeah, and I think Cousins works really well with Forbes too, coming off the screens that Cousins sets. Just super hard screens, and Forbes usually has looks open from mid-range or from three or whatever. And then Forbes has also done a good job like coming off the screen and then finding the roll man too.
Yeah, he had a couple nice passes.
Yeah. And yeah, Jokic's stat patter coming in like when we're up 20 for the triple double.
He was like only trying to like pass. You could tell. He's like, yeah, I'm getting this 10 assist.
But I mean, at the time that Malone sent Jokic to the whatever the
scorers table,
the scorers table. Like that was when it was a 10-point game,
mm-hmm.
and then there wasn't a dead ball whistle for a while, and the Nuggets like got it up to 16,
mm-hmm.
I think, when he came in. So yeah, I mean, it looks rough, I guess, as stat padding, but I'll take it. I'll take the triple double.
I'll take it. He should have had the triple double earlier if Zeke didn't just lose the ball out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, dude, he had like 8. Didn't he have 8 assists in the first half? And then he just couldn't get.
He started scoring in the second and the third quarter. He started taking over.
Yeah.
Scoring wise, which I liked. I mean, the first quarter he was just like he was really passive, just like how he was versus the Pelicans. It just
mm-hmm.
made no sense as to why. I feel like he could have dominated in the Pelicans game too. I mean, he had 28, 29, or I think it's like 25, 12, and 9 in the Pelicans game, and you're like, okay, that was a bad Jokic game. Like he could have been better, which is just ridiculous. But today I thought he played much better. 12 of 15 from the field. He dominated Blake Griffin the whole game. Brooklyn not having a center. I mean, it was obvious Jokic was going to have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, like the size advantage that Denver had today is what New Orleans had against us last game, and you could see the difference in it. So I just think that you gotta play it big. You have to play it big.
And then the bench did continue to struggle.
Yeah.
It's just tough. Like, well, first of all, Bones is playing really poorly right now.
Yeah.
Just making a lot of mistakes. Not really moving the ball and stuff. I'm kind of thinking like, what if, how sometimes Barton staggers, with the bench.
Yeah.
What if you put like Monte Morris? Like, okay, when you look at the bench, Forbes, Highland, like your backcourt, those aren't really playmakers. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
those are scorers. And I feel like if you put, and it's a lot of like ISO ball and stuff like that. If you put Monte off the bench, will that help with the ball movement? I don't know. And it'll be tough because, it's small. Barton brings a little bit more size to the bench.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just looks rough. It's just so like stale. Like the ball movement is
mm-hmm.
just non-existent.
Yeah.
Really,
I mean, like that's Bones. He's a point guard. Like I think he can be a point guard at the NBA.
Yeah.
But he's played his like entire career as a 2. He played his entire career as a 2 who's a scorer but has playmaking capabilities, like really good playmaking capabilities. But you kind of shove him into a point guard role like this. I think he can do it, but like if you do want to have him at the 1, you're gonna have to live with some of these growing pains. Like,
right.
I thought in the first half, I thought he played good on offense. Like he was getting to the rim. He was just, I think he got blocked like 3 times.
Oh, that's the other thing. Move. He just goes up with the right hand on on the opposite side.
Yeah, and it's been work. That move's worked for him in the past. But I mean, Kyrie, he played good defense on him.
Kyrie completely read it. Like because he had Kyrie beat, but like he had done that same move 2 times earlier in the game, so Kyrie knew that was coming.
Yeah, Kyrie had 3 blocks, and for sure all 3 were on that same move. So like he's gonna have to just learn some of the more nuances of the game. And like I think you could definitely stagger Monte with the bench to kind of get some more ball movement then. But I think that's a lot of pressure put on him because he's already doing that in the starting unit. Like he's already the guy initiating the offense. Like
right.
So I don't know if you do it with Bone. I don't know. Maybe I like Barton with the second unit. I do. If he is the guy initiating the offense, because Bones can definitely play off ball.
Yeah.
And you just kind of mix and match more on ball, off ball with those 2. That could definitely work.
Yeah. It's just interesting, and it's just tough, with the injuries too, obviously.
Yeah.
Monte will get pushed to the bench once Jamal comes back. So you just never know. I don't know. I was just kind of like thinking of something to maybe switch up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean I think you're like spot on with it. Like the ball movement is an issue with the bench. One thing that I think, I don't know if it'll help with the ball movement, but I think that this should happen. Like Austin Rivers, he didn't play in the second half. But even when he was in the first half, he wasn't like doing much. I mean, he had 1 shot and 1 foul.
Yeah.
But he had no blocks, no steals, no assists, no rebounds, no points. It's like he really wasn't doing anything out there anyway. So to me, I don't know why you don't give Davon Reed a chance, especially with how he's played the last couple of games, to go out there. And Rivers is hurt. Like he didn't play in the second half because he was hurt. I think if he was healthy, he would have played. But I think Reed, he brings more size, he brings more defense, and I think he brings more consistent shooting. I think that'll help a lot more because it's somebody you can't just sag off of when Bones when Bones or Forbes is driving. They can't just help because of how consistent Reed is as a shooter.
I don't know why he doesn't play. Like anytime he does come into play, it seems like he produces.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he was coming off the bench, consistently a couple weeks ago, and then he kind of got dropped out of the rotation for what? I don't know. Like, seemed like him and Campazzo kind of moved out of the rotation at the same time, but I don't think it was Reed's fault.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just some weird coaching decisions for Malone. I think he's still definitely trying to figure out the bench, because like he's not like this bench is still bad. Like I think like we talked about it before. Like Facu isn't like he wasn't the only problem with the bench. Like you don't just take him out and the bench all of a sudden becomes this competent unit. Like there's a lot of different problems that go on with this bench unit. And one of them is the fact that they just have no defense, like absolutely none. The point of attack defense with Forbes and Bones obviously isn't good. Rivers is your best point of attack defender, and if he's your best defender in the unit,
that's concerning.
That's really not good. Like Zeke is a good defender, but you can't just have him keep switching on every single time. And he played well. This is his 4th or 5th straight game where he's played really, really well. He had 2 threes. I thought he rebounded. He only has 1 rebound, but you can tell his activity on the boards is good. He had a couple putbacks. Like I thought he played well, but you can't keep asking him to do all of that defensively. So I think putting Reed in there helps, but like there's still a piece away defensively, I think.
I agree.
With the trade deadline coming up, they're either gonna have to go for a 5 or they're gonna have to go for a wing. One of those.
I would think like some defensive minded wing. I guess. I mean, like I'm trying to think of the guys. Like you do look at Torrey Craig, but I don't know. I don't really know if I want that Torrey Craig experience back. I mean, he was solid. I would say he's kind of, overrated as a defender, considering that's his thing.
Yeah, defense. He was really good. I thought he was really good as a 4 instead of a 3 because when he was like he would match up really well against guards. Like I thought when he played against Westbrook, I mean he had Westbrook in hell. Like Russell Westbrook did not do anything against Torrey Craig anytime they played against him. I thought he always defended Devin Booker pretty well, but when you started putting him up against like Kawhi Leonard or LeBron or like Kevin Durant, like the wings, like, and obviously like those guys are going to get their buckets regardless, but it didn't look like he was making much of an effect on them anyway. So I think against guards, he was really good, which is a problem, but also wings, like we're still not, that's still a problem.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look through like kind of the bottom feeders in the standings, like the Pelicans. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think they have. I mean, obviously Herb Jones, but you're not going to trade for.
Yeah. They said Jones. That they're looking to move Josh Hart, or they're like willing to move Josh Hart. If Josh Hart is available and you can get him for the right price, 100% go for it. I would go for that immediately. I don't know how that would work. You'd probably have to give up Will Barton to make the salaries match, and you might have to give up a young piece like Zeke or Bones, and I don't like that either. However, Josh Hart is a very good defender and a really good team defender. So for the right price, I wouldn't mind it at all.
Andy's having a career year offensively too.
He's having a pretty good season.
Like the Spurs, is there any? I don't think there's anyone on the Spurs.
I talked about the Spurs on the last live stream. Like,
oh, you did?
Derek White is the guy that to me, because when you look at their backcourt, like. They're not going to move. I don't think they're going to move DeJounte. I think they're going to try and build around him, and he's still under contract. They just drafted Josh Primo. They drafted Devin Vassell last year. Both those guys are rookies. Or not rookies, but they're young guys on rookie contracts. And then they have Keldon Johnson, who's also another guy who's going to be up for an extension this year. So Derek White kind of seems like the odd man out. And I know that this is the first season of his extension. But if they are looking to move somebody to make some more room for a Keldon Johnson extension, then Derek White's the guy that makes sense.
No, and that would be cool too. Colorado connection. So I mean, Josh Hart, Derek White, those guys are like big time. Those are pretty big time players.
Yeah, those are huge moves. Those would be like needle moving moves.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Denver has the ammo to do that. It just to me, like Barton is the guy that you move for those two guys, but like, do you move Barton for one of those guys? I don't know. Like I don't know if I feel comfortable moving Barton for any of those guys, but that's what it's gonna take.
But does that even like change anything though? Because
like
I feel like we need those type of defenders like off the bench.
Exactly.
If you trade Barton, then obviously White is probably going to start.
He's going to start. It doesn't really change much for the bench. I think in a playoff setting, I think it would change something because you would have to stagger some guys. So White would probably be staggered with the bench. But I like, and I think like, because Davon Reed's on a 2-way, so he can't. I don't think he's eligible to play in the playoffs. But if he's not eligible to play in the playoffs, Denver's going to be kind of screwed in certain situations. So like, I think if you got to trade somebody and open up an extra roster spot, like yet another one, because right now we still have one, and that's taken up by Boogie's 10-day. But if you do sign him, you have to trade somebody else to open up a roster spot to sign Reed to a full contract. But that so you'd have to trade 2 players to get one back. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like Sacramento doesn't really have anybody that defensively that would really help. I mean, Harrison Barnes is the guy who comes to mind when they get wings, but he's not a defender. He would mostly just, if you get him, you're like, all right, let's just go full offense
on
this.
Yeah, I mean, he would be cool playing next to Jokic too. Offensively.
Yeah. Like OKC, they're not going to trade anybody. I mean, Kenrich Williams is the guy who makes sense. I would love Kenrich Williams. I think he'd be perfect, but they want a first rounder, and he's a free agent next year, and I don't know if Denver wants to give up a first rounder for a guy who could leave.
Right. Jeremy Grant vibes.
Ooh, the Dolphins are working on a deal for Niners offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel to be their new head coach. I like that for them. I really like that for them.
Yeah, I do too. He seems pretty cool. I don't know if he's completely like ready.
Yeah.
For the job, but
I think it'll be a much better culture than what Brian Flores had, because what was coming out about Flores is that he was not like the nicest guy to be around. Like he was a great football guy and he knew how to lead men, but he would do it in some not so nice ways.
Yeah.
But Mike McDaniel seems like a guy who.
You like go to Houston, Flores. I think it's down to him or Josh McCown now for Houston because they dropped Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah. If they hired McCown, that'd be just hilarious.
That'd be so funny. I know they want like McCown to get other interviews to make it look like they're not just whatever.
Yeah.
The only team that interviews them and because why? But yeah, I mean I don't know. This is basketball. If we want to talk maybe about like the Harden Philly news. Ben Simmons would most likely be obviously the guy that comes to Brooklyn. And like to be honest, I would like this trade for both teams, I think.
Yeah.
Because when you got Kyrie, KD, and then you bring in Simmons, and Simmons doesn't have to be the second option who has to score like he did in Philly. If he can just be that facilitator and be that big defender, I mean, I think that would be a solid move because when you got Harden, Kyrie, KD, like those are all scorers. And it probably could work because there's just when you put that many stars on one team, like it usually ends up working. But I mean, I don't know. I like the Brooklyn fit for Simmons.
Yeah, I do too. I really think that if there's been reports like Steve Nash today before the game, he says like, yeah, we're not trading Harden. Like Harden wants to stay. But honestly, the way Harden has been playing the last couple of weeks, like he hasn't been good. The whole season, he hasn't been like what we expect James Harden to be. Like he's still good, and I think that he's still like an all-star, which I mean he was voted in. But he hasn't been the James Harden we know. Like he's still shooting poorly from threes, not getting the free throw line as much. He's not finishing at the rim the same way. He's turning it over more. Like he's just not the same. You get Ben Simmons, he's going to still give you that same playmaking, but he's going to give you so much more defense. He's going to give you a way better interior presence. I think that would be perfect for them. And then for Philly, I mean, all the reports say that he's going to re-sign there. So, you know, you get Ben Simmons out and you bring in somebody who is want to play. I feel like he'd be rejuvenated if he plays there.
And I think a Harden and Embiid pick and roll.
Oh my God,
that would be deadly.
I mean, that'd be unstoppable. Like Embiid, how he's playing. He had 40 and 10 today. Like he's playing on another level right now. You're gonna get
a free throw party if you get Harden there.
Oh my God,
that is gonna be tough to watch, maybe.
But,
but I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's a good move for both teams.
For sure.
I don't know if Philly will have to give up Maxey, like Simmons.
I wouldn't give up Maxey. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
The way that he's been playing, like, I wouldn't give him up.
Yeah, but he's been lights out.
Yeah, he's been incredible.
But yeah, I mean,
it's tough. It's tough to figure out a trade. I think you might have to bring in a third team to make some of the salaries work. But it would. I think that would be a really good. I think that'd be good for both teams.
Yeah, and I think also Simmons defensively, like the Nets don't really have like a big, defender.
No.
Simmons, like he can guard 1 through 5, literally.
Yeah.
Like their inside presence is like LaMarcus Aldridge and Claxton when he plays. But Claxton's like rail thin. So I mean, yeah, I think defensively Simmons can help both inside and on the perimeter. So I mean, I would do that move. I would actually do that move if I was Philly. It's not like a, Harden wants out, so we have to trade him type thing. It's more like I would just do it because I think it helps my basketball team be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Ben Simmons obviously wants out. So like, if Harden is by far the best player you're gonna get back for him. Like there was another report that came out today. I don't know how credible this is, but it said that Ben Simmons or like Philly wanted both De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton from the Kings for Ben Simmons. I'm like, are you kidding me? Who do you think he is?
I know.
But like, if you get Harden back, that's the best player that you're gonna get.
Yeah, and you got the Daryl Morey connection too with Harden. Yeah, Morey seems like he wants a ton for Simmons.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know if he'll get traded. Philly would be dumb to not because he's not going to play for them.
Yeah. When is the deadline?
The 10th. So 4 days.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's like Wednesday at like 1.
I think it's Thursday at 2.
Oh, Thursday at 2.
Yeah, Thursday at 2 is the deadline. So
2 hour time?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 4 Eastern. So 2 hour time. So yeah, that's what the deal is with Philly. There was a trade that went down today, however, that's been rumored to happen for a while. Caris LeVert to Cleveland. Indiana is going to get back Ricky Rubio, who he's not going to play for the year. They get back a first rounder and 2 seconds, which honestly is not a lot for Cleveland. Like their first rounder isn't going to be very good this season. And Caris LeVert's a guy who's going to help out their bench a ton. He's not a great shooter, but he's a great scorer. I like it. There's like a difference between the two, but he's a great scorer. He's a good playmaker. He's a good all-around player. He's a decent defender. He's not locked down, but Cleveland defensively has been incredible the whole year. So I think this is a great trade for Cleveland.
Yeah, I do too. You also give up Rubio, but obviously he wasn't going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's also the right kind of. I don't know how much more you could get for LeVert if you're Indiana. Maybe a little more, but I don't know. I mean, you get a first round pick. You're building towards the future. You're going to trade Sabonis and Turner.
Yeah, hopefully they do. Hopefully they trade.
Yeah, they better. But I mean, LeVert coming off the bench, or I don't know. Could he start? Could you go Garland, LeVert, Okoro, Allen, and Mobley?
You could. Oh, let me see. Oh, they're playing right now. They're playing the Pacers right now, actually.
Yeah, I
know. So like Darius Garland's been out for a bit. But right now their starting lineup is Brandon Goodwin, Jared Allen, Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro, and Evan Mobley. I feel like
is Markkanen out too, or is he?
Yeah, Markkanen's out too. So I think the odd man out would be Dean Wade.
Yeah.
So then you go with a starting lineup of Garland, LeVert, Okoro, Mobley, and Allen, or you put Okoro to the bench as well, and you go
Markkanen at the
Markkanen instead. And they've been doing that. They've been starting those 3 bigs in there. Yeah, and it's been working much better than I thought it would. So that could be good. I mean, Cleveland's much better than I think anyone anticipated. So them going kind of not all in, but like all in, and making a move like this to win now, I think it's good. I think it's good for them.
Yeah, I do too. And I think also LeVert, you got Sexton out, so having a good perimeter scorer out there with those bigs and then a good playmaker in Garland. I think that could work out well as long as like LeVert's not like the number one option, I guess.
Yeah. Like I think he'd be number one with the bench.
And that would be good because off the bench, I like scores.
Yeah.
Being the number one guy.
Yeah. And like Kevin Love has been having a really good season.
Yeah.
So I would like pairing him and LeVert together on a bench, like if you stagger LeVert, and like in a playoff setting, I think that would be like really, really good. That'd be very nice to watch. So I really like that for Cleveland. It gives them a lot more options. So, and Jared Allen as well. He's been having a great season. I think he should be the all-star replacement for who's not Durant. Yeah, Durant's not going to play in the all-star game. So, I think he should be the all-star replacement for him. Him or LaMelo Ball, because both of them have been exceptional this season. But
yeah,
Jared Allen has been great. I think a kind of funny aspect of this is now Cleveland has both Allen and LeVert, and Houston doesn't have either. And both of them were in the Harden trade.
I know. But what did Houston end up like fully getting out of?
So Houston initially got LeVert, and they got some picks and stuff. They got like pick swaps and all that. But then they traded LeVert to Indiana, and they got Oladipo back.
I forgot about Oladipo.
And because they were still trying
to remain, oh my God, I forgot about Oladipo.
They're still trying to remain somewhat competitive after the Harden trade, which was such a mistake. And then I don't know, somehow Cleveland ended up with Jared Allen. I don't know how they got involved. They got him for nothing, essentially, which is like I don't know how.
Yeah.
They got him.
It was like what, a second round pick or something?
Yeah, they got him. They just like they were like, hey, can we have Jared Allen? They're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how that happened. But yeah, so they got Allen.
I'm looking at the trade. They got Rodions Kurucs. Where is he now?
I don't even think he's in the league anymore.
I know. I feel like he was decent one of these years.
He was all right, yeah. I remember he played in the what's it called? He played in the playoffs that 18-19
season. With D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. He was all right. Yeah, that was a
But yeah, so trade. But like right now, what does Houston have remaining? I guess all the picks.
They just have the picks. I don't think they have anything else.
Yeah.
Like I don't think because they traded Oladipo to Miami, and they got like Kelly Olynyk and Avery Bradley or something. And neither of them are on the team anymore either. And I think that maybe like a first or a second or something. Like that was a horrible. Houston screwed up. But luckily they've been good at developing their young players, and they're gonna have a lot more picks. So they're gonna be fine, but they could have gotten so much more.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's another trade. What else? I mean, there's a lot of like teams that could still give up stuff. Like Charlotte, I think should still go after Miles Turner. You're definitely gonna need a third team in that. Like I have no clue how it would work, but Charlotte should be going after Miles Turner. I don't know who Sabonis would go to. Like I don't know. Like maybe he goes to Golden State. Maybe he goes to like I don't know. Dallas has been interested in somebody from the Pacers. Justin Holiday has been rumored in trade discussions like all season.
He could go too.
He's another guy for the Nuggets to keep an eye on. I think Justin Holiday will be a good addition as well.
How is he defensively? I don't really know.
I don't know. I think he's okay.
Yeah, he's nothing special.
He's not like a good defender, but he's playable, I would say.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, obviously Jeremy Grant is in trade discussions. I don't know if he'll get traded. Like I know Utah's in there for him. I know Chicago's in there for him. Dallas is also in there. Orlando should trade Terrence Ross.
Oh, yeah, finally.
I don't know how he's still on the team, but they should trade him. Gary Harris is another guy to keep an eye on for them, but I don't know. I mean, he's getting $20 million this season. I don't know who's gonna get like a big contract like that for Gary Harris. I don't know if that's gonna happen. So it's likely he'll just get bought out. What else? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe the CJ McCollum. He'll probably get traded. Hopefully Portland just blows it up. They need to just stop.
I know. And it seems like maybe they're finally moving towards that.
Because that trade was not they didn't get anything back.
I know.
That's like it's a Harden trade. Like they Houston messed up, but Portland, they give up 2 firsts for Robert Covington, and then they give up Gary Trent for Norman Powell, and now both of them are out for Eric Bledsoe is probably not going to play for them, and Justice Winslow in a second. Like, I mean, they get Keon Johnson. I think it's kind of an underrated part of that trade. Keon Johnson, that's a young piece that they can not build around, but be a developing guy for them.
Yeah, out of Tennessee, I think.
Yeah, he had the highest vertical at the combine, 48 inches, which is just insane. But yeah, the Clippers are definitely a team to keep an eye on.
I know, for sure. Next year, especially, because I think
because like Norman Powell's still on contract for another 3 years after this season.
Yeah, so I think Kawhi's going to be out. Tyronn Lue probably says he's going to be out for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about PG. Maybe they hold him out the rest of the year too. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, right now they're still in the play-in. Like,
I know.
They're 6 games up on the 10 seed, so like they could still make a run and have some pieces left over. But if Paul George comes back, you're looking at a lineup of something like Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell, Paul George, somebody at the 4, and then Zubats, maybe Marcus Morris. That's a pretty dangerous lineup.
I know.
That's pretty dangerous. I mean, they took Phoenix to 6 last year without Kawhi, and like Paul George was just dominating that entire series. But I think if he had one more piece, look at Norman Powell as that one more piece, and then you add Kawhi next year.
I know that is a dangerous team.
Yeah, that's very dangerous. I don't think like both the Lakers and the Clippers. You look at them, and then you look at like the top 2 teams. Like, I don't think anybody wants to play those guys in the first round.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know the Lakers are struggling right now, but if they figure it out somehow, like, no one's going to want to play them.
And they probably will.
They probably are going to figure it out. Like,
especially, like, with this whole Westbrook. Like, maybe they just end up, rarely ever playing Westbrook. And I feel like that would be okay because AD and LeBron seem to have figured it out now.
Yeah.
It's just the whole Westbrook thing.
Yeah. The Westbrook situation's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can like fix that situation besides Russ just playing better. Like,
I know. I mean, it's weird. It's like because it's obvious he doesn't help win games. Like, do you just flat out just bench him? Like, I don't know.
Because like who do you bring up into the starting lineup then?
Yeah.
Like, they don't really have much that.
And I mean, you just traded for him too.
Yeah. Like that's the problem. I mean, like you trade for Russ Westbrook and you think, okay, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna be good because we have these 3 stars. Mm-hmm. But you traded your 3 best depth pieces.
Yeah.
Like you let go, you don't bring back Dennis Schroeder, you give up Kuzma and you give up Harrell. Like that and Kuzma and Harrell having great seasons in Washington. I know Washington is struggling, but Kuzma and Harrell are like the 2 bright spots over there.
And LA got lucky that Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn are like 23-year-old bandwagons.
Yeah.
Chasers, but
I
think they both got minimum contracts when clearly, you could have made a ton more money.
Like Malik Monk was like, oh, the Lakers were the only team that won me. He's like, no, they were not.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he's ring chasing at 23, but he is playing well. Credit to him.
Really well. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the only reason they got him is because they're in LA, so they lucked out there with their location. But yeah, like I don't know. I mean, the Lakers, they're still like dangerous. Like I wouldn't want to play LeBron first round.
No, definitely not.
Hell no. So
I think LeBron's having one of the best seasons of his career right now, and it's just the fact that Russ isn't playing well. AD was injured for a while, and like the Lakers roster in general is just kind of in limbo. Like you don't really know what's going on with it. But just LeBron in a playoff series. Ooh, no. Yeah, I don't want to see that. So like like Russell Westbrook has like 2 full months to figure this out, and for a guy who's one of the greatest point guards of all time, like he's gonna figure it out. I would be shocked if he doesn't. Like he's not gonna look like Russ of last season where he's putting up 30 triple doubles a season and he's scoring at will, getting in the paint a lot. But I think if you have a lineup with AD at the 5, I think that's enough space. He just has to start getting to the rim more. Like he's settling for so many jumpers.
I know.
But I mean, that's never been his game. I don't know why he changed it. I don't know if that's a coaching staff or just, a conscious decision he made, but like he has to get to the rim and then they'll be unstoppable.
Yeah. And maybe it's just because because it was like AD playing a lot when LeBron was hurt. I think, and then LeBron playing a lot when AD was hurt. So maybe like AD was just thinking, as the number one guy, he had to take shots. But with both of them back, maybe he goes back to pick and roll monster like he was when they won the championship.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Dangerous team.
Yeah. I guess another team to keep an eye on is the Wizards because of the Bradley Beal stuff. I don't know who's going to trade for him. I really don't know who can trade for him.
Yeah.
But like they're a team to keep an eye on if he ever gets moved. Like I don't know. Like maybe Washington takes a chance on Ben Simmons and he goes to Philly. And if they're not able to work something out with Brooklyn for Harden, they take Beal instead, which I think would be very good as well. But I don't know if Washington wants that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of trade situations that are in limbo. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll try and on these live streams we'll try and keep track of all of them until the deadline on Thursday. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Nuggets play on Thursday, so we'll have a good idea of everything that's going on at that point. So I think that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that just
what else we can talk about. We'll do an episode maybe after the Super Bowl. I think we'll still try and figure that stuff out. But yeah, I think the Nuggets. Oh, Nuggets don't play on the trade deadline. They play the day after. So they play Boston the day after. So we'll have we'll figure stuff out.
Yeah.
About that, and we'll keep you guys updated. So yeah, thank you.